Hi guys, it's Katy here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you haven't noticed, I did take a little break just because I'm in the middle of exam season and everything is pretty much packed and very stressful, but hopefully I'll be back on the schedule soon. So today we're gonna be propagating Anthurium forgetii, two of these beautiful guys that you see here. So I already did a video where I explained the basic differences between propagation by stem and propagation by seed with Anthuriums, so we're gonna go quickly over that just so you get a fast overview of what we're dealing with. So Anthurium propagation can be slightly more intimidating than philodendrons, and the main reason for that is because they have a very short internode, so it means that they don't have much of a stem between one leaf and the other. They kind of grow very clustered together. They grow very clustered together and it can be hard to cut it safely without damaging the leaves or axillary buds. It's not impossible to propagate them, it's just you will get less cuttings and usually they take way longer to push out any new growth than philodendrons do. And the thing with them is usually they will push out a new leaf before they push out actual roots. So don't be worried if your Anthurium stem has two leaves and still doesn't have a root, it's fine. If you've seen Anthurium chunks, they are very big and thick, so what it means is they can store a lot of nutrients in there, so they are good for some time. And once it has a leaf, it can photosynthesize, it will do its own thing, okay? So yeah, here I have Anthurium forgetii silver stripe, or what was bought as silver stripe on Equagenera. So these three guys, and then we have the basic one. This is Anthurium forgetii green form, I believe it's how it's called. I know Equagenera also sells them. I didn't get mine off of it. I got it as these tiny leaf last year for a very good price, and it has finally started to push out decent sized leaves, so I'm very excited about it. It's also very dark. The venation is more subtle and it doesn't have that silver in it, but I think it looks super cute. And then we have the silver boys. This is one of my favorites right now. I just adore the leaf shape this guy has, because this is where the posterior lobes would be called, but forgetii kind of has them fused together. So this particular plant has very higher upper part and it's super cute, and the venation is also so sparkly and popping. And then we have the other two. So this guy has grown the biggest leaf ever, and it's probably the darkest out of all four, and it's the size of my head, if not bigger. It surprised me because the older leaves kind of look a bit wrinkly and, you know, not like most aesthetically pleasing, but it has outdone itself. And the last guy is this one. This is also a dark one. It's just pushing out a new leaf which got deformed on its way out. It's okay, it happens. It has more prominent silver veins, but also more minimal, if that makes sense. Those are the four guys. We're gonna be propagating those two because they have so much root. The thing you have to know with propagating Anthuriums is usually when you propagate, you will have a top cutting. Will in our cases be this whole plant, because the plant has its original chunk that was grown into and then it pushed out a new shoot, which is basically whatever you see here. And we're gonna cut that because they have grown juicy roots, hopefully you can see here. And this guy as well, because their roots are growing back into the media, so they are very happy. Another thing I would point out is that it's not really recommended to either repot or cut and additionally stress out your Anthurium when they're just pushing out a new leaf. But we're gonna do it anyways because I've been postponing this forever, and they're gonna be fine just because they're such healthy plants, otherwise I wouldn't do it. So without further ado, let's just get started. Okay, so we're gonna be starting off with this guide. What you need is get some cotton pads and your razor tool or knife or whatever you're gonna cut your plant with. The thing with Anthuriums is they have thicker stems, so it may be a little bit harder to cut through. So you're gonna have to use force, and then you sterilize your cutting equipment just so it's ready to go. And now we're gonna take him out of the pot and find the suitable spot for us to cut. Oh, okay. Look at those roots though. So these are some of the older roots, but they still seem fine. Oh, okay, super happy. You're probably gonna have to remove the media as much as possible just so you get to the stump. Okay, so hopefully you're gonna be able to see, but this is the old stump that this Anthurium grew from. So it goes all the way from here to the top. I will be cutting it up here just so this top section will have all of these nice and juicy roots. So we have our top cutting. As you can see, these are all the fresh roots. They will start growing instantly. There's no problem with that. And another thing I've noticed is Anthuriums are not really that prone to rot once you cut them. So I usually just pot them straight back up and they're good to go. And this is what we're gonna do actually. Okay, so here we have our top cutting. It will probably need some support just because the roots have not been growing with the media. Obviously, we just disturb them. Okay, I've just watered it. Now I'm gonna put some of the moss back up just so the plant will have easier time growing its roots and it's gonna prevent it from drying too much. But don't pack it too closely because fungus gnats love that. And so this is what we are left with. These are some old roots. They have started sprouting, as you can see. So general rule with Anthuriums, or pretty much majority of philodendrons, is that where the petiole is on the opposite side, there will be an auxiliary bud. Auxiliary bud is where the new shoot of the plant will start growing. Yeah, there aren't that many prominent ones, so I can show you. It depends on Anthuriums. Some have it very prominent, some not. This guy doesn't, but if you can see, each of this line is one internode. So this is an internode, this is a nodal space, so it means that at each of this line there is an auxiliary bud, so a potential for a new plant. If you want, you can cut it in half, but I personally wouldn't, just because this is a really old part and sometimes they can just end up rotting and it's not good. So what do you want to do with this remaining part? You want to pot it in your ordinary potting mix. Okay, there is one. You can kind of leave a bigger portion of the stem exposed just so you can see where the new growth will appear. I'm gonna add some sphagnum on it and put it on heating mat because I found that Anthurium stems do really well then. And now for the second victim. So you can see this is the main new shoot and this is the remains of an older stem. So I'm probably gonna cut right here. You can see there is one root here, and several more growing into the media. Yay, we did it, but I still have to pull him out. Okay. So here is our forgettii. You can see this is the root system. It's okay because these roots are fresh and they're just gonna continue growing and it's super healthy anyways. And this is the remains. You can see in what kind of pot, equigenerum pots that they come in. There's also some new root growth. And here is the stem. So this is actually still part of the new stem and there is the older one. Yeah, and here is our second one. I'm gonna pot this in here. That's the right pot. Perfect. So now we're left with the bottom parts of forgettii. I'm gonna keep this on a heating mat as I mentioned, and I'm gonna add some more sphagnum on top because there are some roots here and I don't want them to necessarily dry out. And I will keep you posted. Be sure to check my Instagram for update on this and I'll see you next time. Bye!